Ladies and gentlemen, James Lane here. This is the 73rd episode of the American Reveille Podcast. Unfortunately, we lost Rush Limbaugh. And I know many of us had major respect for Rush. I can recall being 17, 18 years old listening to Rush. I used to sell fire extinguishers and certify fire extinguishers once upon a time, and I'd drive around following the fire marshal, waiting for him to go to businesses and tell them their extinguishers were expired and that they needed to call their guy, and then I would sweep in the ever so suave salesman, pretending to be their fire extinguisher guy, doing the job, of course, by the book, but taking the business away from the other competitor. Now, whether or not that was the right thing to do, hey, I was an 18-year-old kid trying to make some money, making a living, selling fire extinguishers, living life, doing what I could. But I can distinctly remember my boss being pissed off at me again and again and again because I couldn't focus. I would screw off. I'd screw off because I was sitting in my 1997 Pontiac Sunbird. Yeah. Well, not Sunbird. What was it? A Sunfire, excuse me. With fire extinguishers in the trunk. I had them all bungeed in there and stuff. And freaking riding around in a Pontiac Sunfire. And I would just sit in there and listen to Rush Limbaugh talk. And I would fantasize about how I could ever have a platform to talk on. How would one even get into that? Took me a very long time to figure that out. And I didn't even realize till later how much of an influence and an inspiration Rush had been to me. And I know every single one of you have your own Rush Limbaugh inspiration story. I just wanted to share a personal one. But celebrating Rush, as much as I wish this podcast was about, and I mean, it's always about celebrating Rush, it's more of a highlight. Now, everybody is talking about what's going on, but I really want to shine a spotlight on the hypocrisy of the left. This is a real long intro, guys. Sorry, but you get what you get today, all right? The hypocrisy on the left is ridiculous. They can say and do whatever they want. There are some real disgusting people in the world on all sides of any political spectrum from all walks of life. Some pretty disgusting subhuman creatures out there walking around pretending to be human beings that say and do horrible things, and nothing ever happens to them, and life is just unfair like that sometimes. Though in this situation, we are making a difference across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, droves of leftists and blue check marks on Twitter and celebrities have come out of the woodworks to gloat and take pleasure in the passing of El Rushbaugh, in the passing of arguably the greatest talk radio voice in the history of radio broadcast. I'm going to use this episode 73 of the American Reveille Podcast, entirely to go through all of these different comments and tweets, because as much as you don't want to hear them and I don't want to read them, it's very important for you to know exactly who, what, and where with what's going on and with the game that's being played. It's very important that you know what actors are saying this. It's very important you know what influential figures are opening their traps and showing their true colors. It's very important that you understand where the line is drawn. Ladies and gentlemen, I have absolutely no respect. And sooner or later, these disgusting, despicable dirtbags, someday they're going to understand that not everything in life is for sale. Stay tuned, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Episode 73, the American Reveille Podcast. Of course, I'm your host, James Lane, and obviously a very somber, sad day. A day we had been expecting for a long time, though we were hoping and praying would not come. Rush Limbaugh has passed away. Pretty much everybody listening to this by now knows what happened, and that he succumbed to lung cancer. And everybody here at the American Reveille extends their deepest sympathies to the Limbaugh family and everybody close to Rush. As we know, he's touched many people's lives, millions of people he never even met. So you could only imagine what people close to him are going through at the moment. A truly great human being, as he said, his talent on loan from God, now out there floating in the universe, ready for the next ride. Up in heaven, filling the airways. You know, I like to think about it like that. I like to imagine Rush, you know, up there. If you want to use your imagination, have a little fun with it and have a good memory of it. Just, you know, up there with like an amazing, like a studio, right? Could you imagine like a heavenly studio, a studio in the clouds, made of marble? Screw it. Let's make it of ivory just because it pisses off the lefties. I just wanted to say that. I think Rush would have laughed at that comment. Anyway, I don't want to get too crazy into it. I told you a story in the intro. I wanted to make it personal. It's a true story. I didn't write that. I didn't make it up. Everything I'm doing is right off the cuff. I haven't scripted an episode literally since like episode 30 or 35 or something like that. Everything has been literally improv and off the cuff. True emotion, true actions, true reactions, true feelings, ladies and gentlemen. And right now we're all feeling like we got punched in the gut. I guess that's the best way to put it, right? Rush has passed. It's pretty shitty. Shitty. We all feel pretty shitty. And of course, right there, trustworthy, reliable, as usual, the left is there to take our face, grab it with their slimy, sweaty, clammy, effeminate palms, if they're males. I guess I could say masculine palms for some of the females. I don't know. There's all kinds of groups of people that make up the left. Good people, bad people, people with good intentions, people with bad intentions, people that know what's going on, people that don't know what's going on. So I don't want to get too far into it. I probably put my own foot in my mouth already once or twice during this episode. But then again, when do I not put my foot in my mouth? It would probably explain why I'm shadow banned in so many places. But that's okay. That's okay. It's necessary to be said. And I think it's necessary for people to see real human emotion, real human feeling, real just frustration. We're all frustrated at what's going on. And now that Rush is gone, I mean, that adds emotion to an already emotional event. And I, at least for one, am doing the best I can to not like, I'm not losing it, right? Like I didn't know Rush personally, but when I go through what I'm going to go through with you, I think you'll understand. I've already read everything that I'm going to read to you and that we're going to talk about. And I think that's what kind of gives me a different perspective at this point and kind of explains where I'm coming from. If it's a little confusing to you, if you're kind of wondering why I'm a little rambly and a little all over the place, I just stared into the eyes, into the den, into the fire. I just stared into the left, and God, what an insane place to look at, ladies and gentlemen. Just what a mixture of hate and confusion and bigotry and, dare I say, evil. I mean, maybe that's why I'm shook up. Maybe that's why I'm jumbling my words. Maybe that's why I seem a little off. Maybe I've been staring at the words of evil people. Maybe that's what it is. I'll let you be the judge, folks. And maybe when we're done reading it, you'll be as flustered as I am. Now, I'm going to have to grab this mic. As you know, my main monitor is broken. I appreciate all the people that invested and supported this podcast and the American Reveille LLC, the company that we are building, that helped and donated. And I was able to order a new monitor. Like I told you in the last episode, we should have it by Friday. Thank you guys again so much. I really, really, really appreciate it. It goes a long way. I've put about $10,000 into this business out of just my pocket. And that's not like money I had saved up. I'm like you guys, all right? There's a lot of folks out there that do the best they can, and I do the best I can. And I have a family, I have a wife, I have kids to support. I work a job. I'm not relying on YouTube clicks for money, not at this point at least. I'd like to. But then again, YouTube doesn't like me very much. No, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just like you. I work hard. I'm here trying to make a difference and relate with you guys. And these folks that you're going to hear about, they could never relate to you. They could never be one of us. They could never live one day in the real world. And most of them haven't lived in the real world for a very, very long time. So I'll say it once more. Rest in peace, El Rushbaugh. We love you, brother. I'll see you one of these days. We'll all see you one of these days. And keep the big man upstairs happy with your glorious, glorious voice, brother. And I'll look up there once in a while for some guidance. Thank you, sir. Thank you for everything you did for us. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to this Breitbart article. Things are going to take a turn for the worse. You're going to be pissed off. You're going to not like these people very much. In fact, you might not even consider them people after I read this to you. This is Breitbart. Hollywood celebrities celebrate Rush Limbaugh's death. Cancer killed the cancer. This is by David Ng. David NG. Of course. Left-wing Hollywood celebrities wasted little time in popping the champagne following news of Rush Limbaugh's death. As Breitbart News reported, the 70-year-old conservative radio legend died Wednesday morning following a battle with advanced lung cancer. His wife, Catherine Limbaugh, announced at the beginning of Wednesday's radio program, ignoring any sense of taste or decorum, the stars piled on with the nasty insults, including actress Amber Tamblyn. I don't know who that is. She wished Rush Limbaugh to rest in peace. Just kidding. She said, rot in purgatory. And her husband, what a great pair of people, David Cross, declared that cancer killed the cancer. If you're... I think that's David Cross. If you're watching, the guy on the right here with the blue, this very, I don't know what he is. You know, all the lefties have that frickin' thing about them, that effeminate male thing going on. And David Cross is no exception. He's no exception. Other Hollywood elites, Ellie's, what does that say? Elites. There we go. They have a typo here in Breitbart. Breitbart Get your shit together. Other Hollywood elites who celebrated Limbaugh's death included John Cusack, Mark Maron. Come on, Mark Maron. I know you don't like Trump, but geez, man. Larry Charles, Star Trek veteran George Takei. Oh my, Takei. David Cross and Amber Tamblyn led the Hollywood hate parade with matching his and her insults aimed at the late radio host. You saw they said rotten purgatory and cancer killed the cancer. Very tasteless, very disgusting. How do you say things? How do you joke about death? These are people that don't have any sense of God in their life. I bet you if you asked David Cross if he believed in God, he would tell you he's an atheist. Because I think only an atheist could be this cruel during a time of death. Sorry, not sorry. If you say I'm racist against the atheists, I really don't give a shit. I really don't. John Cusack. All right, John Cusack. He tweeted besides Rupert Murdoch. All right, besides Rupert Murdoch, there's been no more destructive a practitioner of the big lie for profit in the U.S. All right. He said, never speak ill of the dead, the poet tells us, but the truth the truth demands the recognition of some facts. Besides Murdoch, there has been no more destructive a practitioner of the big lie for profit in the U.S. Speaks a man who's profiting off the big lie in the U.S. Sorry. Who are you? You know, you left your career somewhere in the 90s, sir. I would suggest you go look for it and get off the internet. Rosanna Arquette, whoever the hell wasn't David Arquette? Wasn't that the guy? Didn't he do that movie 8-Legged Freaks and win the World Championship Wrestling heavyweight title from the Jimmy the King guy in that wrestling movie? I think that's what her brother did. I think Rosanna Arquette is a waste of existence. Yeah, that's what she is. It's a real shame when someone wasted their lives spewing hate and lies, Rosanna Arquette states. She states it's a real shame when someone wasted their lives spewing hate and lies as she's wasting her life spewing hate and lies, ladies and gentlemen. What lonely, sad, and empty place it must be at the end. That's what Rosanna Arquette said. And here's what I have to say to you, Rosanna Arquette. What a lonely, sad, and empty place it must be in your shitty little world. What a silly little girl you are. Hellboy and Sons of Anarchy actor. Look, it's so funny. These actors play these big tough guys and yet they're little bitches. Hellboy and Sons of Anarchy actor Rob Pearl Necklaceman extended his deepest sympathies. By the way, sorry, I know I went a little far with that comment there. If you have kids in the room, I warn you now, these things are pissing me off. So I might be a little satirical. I might make a couple jokes. I might even get a little dirty. You know, I might, in Rush Limbaugh style, poke the bear a little bit. But let's see. Rob Perlman, all right, he said, me being Hellboy and shit, and having spent so much time in Hades, I would like to extend my deepest sympathies to the poor devil who will no doubt have to spend the rest of eternity with Rush Limbaugh. You know how he put that in there? He wrote, having spent so much time in Hades because he plays Hellboy in movies because he's an idiot. He basically is putting an out in that sentence. He's not a dumb guy. If for some reason the tides turn and it's more popular to hate what he said, he can say, I'm just an actor. If you see the first sentence, I said I spent time in Hades. The whole thing was a joke. It's not a joke, though. Ron Perlman's a douchebag. He doesn't like Trump. He doesn't like the right. He's just a little bitch. All right, good. He's just another pompous little baby that needs his butt powdered. All right. Just like everybody on the left. They're all little babies that got their participation trophies and now they all want their little butts, their little tushies pampered, their little tushies powdered, their little keppies kissed, a little pat on the belly, glass of milk. Kiss my ass. Actress Bette Midler, speaking of the devil, Rush Limbaugh has gone to his reward, bet it's hot. Bette Midler is an idiot. Billy Eichner, she declared hate was the brand of Rush Limbaugh. Honestly, Rush would have loved all the hate tweeting about him today. Hate was his brand. Billy Eichner, your brand is idiocracy. Your brand is lacking chromosomes, Billy. And of course, another Billy Baldwin, the actor of the brother of actor Alec Baldwin, another fun type of guy. He told Limbaugh to enjoy hell. All these people are disgusting. How do you say this about dead people? Just about any dead person? Like, seriously, think about that. These folks live in such a distorted reality that they think spreading good values, spreading family, spreading love. See, none of that works for them because their fame and fortunes went to their heads and destroyed their families, destroyed the love in their heart, destroyed their sense of reality. These people don't know where they even are. Half of them are hopped up so much on pills they don't know where they are at any given moment of the day. Come on, Bette Midler. Come on, Bette Midler. None of these people are relevant. Oh, Billy Baldwin. Star Trek actor George Takei expressed gratitude that Limbaugh lived long enough to see Trump defeated by Biden. These people are taking pleasure in someone's death. George Takei, you piece of shit. Oh my, I love watching other people die. I'm George Takei. Takei rhymes with die. You're a piece of crap, George Takei. All of you should lose your careers. You should all be canceled, just like you do to us. You should all sit there and pound your fists on a concrete wall and cry for the embracing touch and the warm, soft, supple bosom of fame and fortune as it slowly is ripped from your grasp. And most of you haven't had fame and fortune in years anyway, if you ever had it in the first place. Rush Limbaugh was worth $600 million, you amateurs. Oh, Borat director. Here's another freaking famous guy. Larry Charles. He says, Rush Limbaugh's dead. Another white man propagating hate and lies. Rush, quote, hashtag, sorry, not quote, Rush, hashtag dead. What an idiot. Netflix's Grace and Frankie actor, I never even heard of it. Ethan Embry, another idiot I never heard of, suggested that Limbaugh appealed to white supremacists. How do you guys even know this? How do you even know this? These people for decades, at least one decade, have thought we're all racist bigots and have hated us. These people sit here and criticize us and pretend like we're the ones that want violence, when all of their actions do nothing but call for it. All of their actions do nothing but provoke it. All of their actions do nothing but show that they are the rebels looking to secede. Ladies and gentlemen, they are the devils incarnate. Saving Private Ryan actor Adam Goldberg. I don't even Saving Private Ryan. Like, you say Saving Private Ryan. Who do you think of? You think of Tom Hanks. That's the only person you might think of. What was it? Was it Matt Damon? Vin Diesel was in there for 5 minutes. He got shot by a sniper and bled to death. All right. Sorry. Vin Diesel I like making fun of Vin Diesel. It's just a bald thing. I'm bald too. So I'm very competitive against other bald men. All right. That's my category. You stay out of it. You stay out of my category, Vin Diesel. He said, Senator Rand Paul's tweet praising Limbaugh, all right, was by far the lowest thing he had read about the late radio host. And Rand Paul put out a very nice tweet about him. This guy's just a piece of crap. That is I wish like the pro wrestling Goldberg would go find Adam Goldberg and beat the shit out of him. Just saying. Actor Michael Rappaport. See, like another D-list actor right here. He called Rush a piece of shit. That's great. That's so great. I'm glad you guys got it out. I'm glad you guys threw this up. Fucking expelled it from your lungs. Are you happy? Does it make you feel better? Oh, do you feel so good inside? Are your parents proud of you? Your mom? Are your grandmas proud of you? I feel bad for your children. I feel bad for all of these folks' children. What a disgusting atmosphere they have to grow up in. Fox's Brooklyn Nine-Nine writer Jess Dweck tweeted and later deleted an insult aimed at the late Limbaugh. How mad is Rush that he got to hell before the Sackler family? She wrote, and then she deleted it. Idiot. Actor Kirk Acevedo tweeted, one bigot dead, waiting for the rest to join him. How is that not a threat or inciting violence or anything like that? One bigot dead, waiting for the rest to join them. So are we waiting for all of the left to die? Is that something we can say? I'm not saying that right now. I'm clarifying that for you right the hell now, so don't take me out of context. Don't you dare. But this guy, Kirk Acevedo, he can wish everybody that liked Rush Limbaugh death. I guess it goes to show if you're part of the right class, you're part of the right tax bracket, you're immune from being silenced in the United States of socialist America, ladies and gentlemen. Former Saturday Night Live member Luke Null, another person who I don't know, Luke Null and Void, tweeted that Limbaugh already started a radio show in hell and is complaining about outsiders. He said, Rush Limbaugh already started a radio show in hell and is ranting about how the devil should shut the fiery gates because all the outsiders are ruining everything. No, Luke, you ruin every day for your family when you open your trap. Shut the F up. These people. Who is David Nung? Follow David NG on Twitter. Let's just for giggles click this and see who the hell he is for a second. Oh, look. People in riot gear, police officers, I guess, something like that. David, Breitbart News, former entertainment and cultural reporter. He worked for the LA Times, 12 years, pro-law enforcement, anti-woke, and independent. Okay, he's our kind of guy. I'm happy that he put all of this together. All right, guys, I'm happy that he put all of this together. He threw me off for a second just because his tag was, hey, it's David NG, David Nung. I hope I'm saying that right. I think it's Nung. Anyway, look, it's important you see this. All right. I wanted you to see this, but we're not done yet. All right. And again, normally I'd be looking at you much more. All right, those who aren't listening, those who are watching. But again, I have to depend on my monitor over here instead of my monitor over there because I'm waiting for the new one to come in the mail. All right, folks, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, take this time for a second. Do me a favor. Give me a 5-star review. All right. Write down in the review box an actual written review. It helps me, guys. It really does. Leave a comment. It moves me up the rankings on Apple Podcasts, and more patriots like you get to hear the American Reveille Podcast and get to become a part of the movement, ladies and gentlemen. Also, all right, wherever you're watching this, YouTube, Odyssey, Rumble, subscribe, follow, leave a comment, share, ladies and gentlemen. There's more to go through. There's more to go through. Look at this. Leftist blue checks. They mock Rush Limbaugh. They celebrate his passing with hashtag rest in piss. These are the people lecturing us on maturity. These are the people filling our schools with critical race theory. These are the people telling us how to live. These are the people teaching our children. These are the people shaping our society. They're shaping our society. Why is this okay? Why is this okay? Why? Can you answer that question for me? If you can tell me why this is okay, please leave it in the comment section below. I would love to hear. I'd love to hear your explanation I really would. Let's read this. This is Joshua Klein. After the Wednesday passing of talk radio legend Rush Limbaugh, blue check leftists took to Twitter to bash and mock the conservative icon while rejoicing over his death, including driving the hashtag rest in piss. Could that be considered terrorist activity? I know that Twitter is really tough on that, right? Limbaugh, who hosted the Rush Limbaugh show for 32 years, had been battling stage 4 lung cancer since January of 2020. Within minutes of the announcement of Limbaugh's death, leftist Twitter users took to the social media platform to mock his memory and criticize both him and his positions. Rush Limbaugh passes away from cancer, and Twitter lefties decide to trend this. Such nice people. This is what, all right, Wendy, I guess Molinex, Wendy Mala Irrelevant, really, Wendy took too many mollies in high school. Rush Limbaugh was a Nazi who delighted in the suffering of others. We do not mourn and we do not care. No, Wendy, nobody cares about you. All right, this is from Andy Zeisler, another no-name idiot that nobody cares about. His own family probably doesn't care about him. Rush Limbaugh was a shitty, cynical person who did everything he could to make the world meaner, dumber, and more divided. I'm glad he's dead, and I wish it had happened a lot sooner. Think about that statement, folks. Rush Limbaugh did everything he could to make the world meaner, dumber, and more divided. All right? Meaner. I'm glad he's dead. Dumber. I wish it happened sooner. And this entire statement, Andy, makes us all more divided. You dumb ass dipshit. Somebody should have slapped you more when you were a kid. Adam Best said this, all right? Right-wingers are reacting to the news of Rush Limbaugh's death as if Mr. Rogers died. And that tells you exactly how delusional their bubble is. He said, with hate peddling and conspiracy theories, Rush did more harm to the U.S. than just about anybody. Adam Best, your films are stupid. They've never been talented. You are not talented. You are not special. And nobody loves you. Next, media mustn't pretend that he was anything more than one of the most toxic right-wing liars who's done more than any other media figure to harm and divide the nation. Left-wing editor Alex Dumbass, we'll just call him that. Rush Limbaugh was a bigot and a misogynist who saturated America's airwaves with cruel lies and conspiracy theories for decades, transforming the GOP in the process, wrote senior HuffPost reporter Christopher Mathias. So what happens if Obama passes from natural causes at some point in the next 10 years, 20 years, whatever, and I just decide to trash talk him and just say he was a piece of her? They'll just call me racist. They'll throw me in jail at that point, probably. No, but Rush Limbaugh can pass and people can literally piss on his memory. These people don't deserve water. I'm sorry. They don't. Rush Limbaugh was a coward and white supremacist, wrote left-wing activist. Notice the activists call him a supremacist. Charlotte Clymer. He aggressively and cynically exploited divisions in our country by weaponizing hatred and bigotry for his own personal. What do you guys do? What is it that you guys do? What is it? If we don't agree with you, if we don't bend to your will, right, then we are bigots. All right? Your definition of unity is we bend to your way because your way in your mind is better. All right. And our idea on the right is that we figure out how to work it out with our differences. All right. And we balance what we do. Which one sounds more dividing? Oh, wait, I forgot. You're all idiots. So I don't know what to tell you, lefties. You don't understand common sense, because common sense has been gone from you for a very, very long time. Maybe it's in your phone somewhere. I don't know. He was in service to his own greed, prejudice, and hypocrisy. And that's how history will remember him, she added. I don't really have any strong emotions at all about Rush Limbaugh dying, wrote Ian Millhiser, senior correspondent of Vox. He will be replaced by someone who is just as adept in stoking hate and resentment, and that person's success will give me comfort that the world would be exactly the same if Rush had never lived. No, you see, Ian Millhiser, we are all going to work together to destroy your ideology, to culturally remove it from society before it kills this country like a cancer. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Every day when Rush Limbaugh got out of bed, he had one job: make the world a worse place. Wrote best-selling author Maureen Johnson. Nobody cares. He made himself into a vortex. He caused tremendous amounts of suffering and poisoned people against their fellow humans. His life story is a cautionary tale. They're basically saying, don't become a success story. Don't work hard for your values. Just become a piece of crap that mooches off the system. Just become a piece of crap that needs the government's help. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, okay? There's a reason for some of these systems. You get on them briefly, you fix your shit, you get off them. You mooch on them long enough, you're nothing to me. I don't have any sympathy anymore. I don't. I live up here in Washington State. The homeless people practically do heroin in the streets up here. And in some places, they do heroin in the streets. They have needle disposal things. I don't care about these people anymore. And most of us don't. While the lefties bitch and moan about saving the pedophile and the illegal alien and the child molesters and the freaking scum of the earth, our cities and our country is burning. Our economy is falling apart. There's a senile man in the White House. We are truly living in the movie Idiocracy, ladies and gentlemen. Have you ever seen Idiocracy? These comments sound like people from the movie Idiocracy. They sound like morons. They sound like idiots. Idiots. Rush Limbaugh fostered a culture of mean-spiritedness that still poisons our politics and culture, said Tom Winter, a former Democratic member of the Montana House of Representatives. Don't do him the favor of perpetuating it. We've got bigger things to do than dance on the small man's grave, he added. Can I tell you something? When you say don't do him the favor of perpetuating, we've got bigger things to do than dance on the small man's grave. Let me tell you something. You're perpetuating it and you're dancing on the grave going, I'm not dancing on the grave. I'm not dancing on the grave. Shut the fuck up, you idiot. God. Such disrespectful scum. And you know, if you don't like how I'm talking, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you don't like how I'm talking. It isn't the most clean episode you've ever seen of the American Reveille Podcast, but I'm pretty pissed off. I'm not happy about this. I never promised it was going to be an all ages episode. And honestly, I'm tired of not fighting fire with fire. I'm tired of us being the respectable, nice people that get crapped on. So you know what? I'm going to shit talk all of these people. And you, my fellow patriots on the right, can either be all about it and you can fight the good fight using those leftist tactics right against them, shove it right up their ass, hypothetically, of course. Or you can turn the cheek and let them take over the country. It's up to you. It's up to you. Time to fight fire with fire. Time to fight dirty, ladies and gentlemen. And that's not a physical fight. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about using your noggin, ladies and gentlemen. Charging the noodle, all right? Put the lemon on the grinder, charge up the brain cells, fight the ideology, ladies and gentlemen. Use your mouth. First Amendment. Use your brain. Strategy and tactics. Strategy and tactics. Rush Limbaugh spent decades advancing his career by opportunistically spreading vicious lies that got a lot of bad people elected, whose corrupt policies in turn got a lot of Americans killed, wrote liberal political blog Palmer Report. Now he's dead, so be it. There's a reason Arrest in Piss is trending right now. It's because you guys are the piss. Okay? Palmer Report, you are the piss. Rush is resting all right. And you're literally swimming in a pool of your own piss. All of these people are. Rush isn't here to hear them. So all they're doing is gloating. They're all dancing on the grave of a freshly dead American hero. There are so many things I could say about the death of Rush Limbaugh, but you're probably already thinking them. And with even better adjectives. Joe Hagan wrote that he's a special correspondent for Vanity Fair. Why isn't he? Why is it okay? Why do they call everyone on the right racist, right? Why, when people support Trump, do they get fired from work? But the special correspondent from Vanity Fair can laugh at someone's death, and they still have a job. They still have a job. Would you have a job? Ask yourself that question, folks. Would you have a job if you threatened death, if you laughed at death, if you wished death on people publicly? I wouldn't have a job. Don't let anyone shame you for pointing out what a pig Rush Limbaugh was, as if their tweets dancing on RGB's grave aren't even 6 months old, wrote journalist Chris Warnowski. Chris, shut up. Just shut up. You're a pig. You're such a pig yourself. Oink, oink, piggy, piggy pie. Shut your mouth. They always call it that, all right? Don't let anyone shame you. If they talk shit, if they dance on a grave, if they spit hate, right? If they want to be petty little bitches, if they want to talk shit and we say anything back, you're shaming us. Where's our safe space? You're shaming us. But God forbid we say anything. God forbid we fight back. We're bigots. You see, they've created this system with all outs, all back doors, all exits open for them, and no way out for anyone on the right. So the only way, in my opinion, is to just be vocally aggressive. I truly like the method taken by UFC owner and president. Well, I think he's sold, and I think he's a different part of the UFC now, but Dana White, the guy who invented the UFC, I love his method. A reporter will come up to him and just be like, hey, do you think of this about Donald Trump? And he'll literally just be like, who the fuck do you think you are? Shut the fuck up. Get out of here. You can't be nice to these people. You can't engage these people. You can't engage the left with conversation. Has it ever worked? They're going by a different dictionary. They're going by a different language. There's no winning. So why are you wasting your breath? Tell them to shut their mouth and go away. Fuck off. Your opinion doesn't matter anymore. There's no sense. There's no reason. There's no need for us to have a discussion because we can't even decide and settle upon terms and the definitions of those terms. We can't even decide on what dictionary to use. Folks, unfortunately, this divide, which has been perpetuated by woke culture, which has been rapidly sped up by social media and the poison within, it's real. And it's not such a simple solution. Everything I'm reading to you is pure hatred, pure evil, pure meanness. There are children, babies. That was grandpa, great-grandpa to a child. Sons and daughters. Mothers, babies. It's an entire life of laughing and crying and heartache and sorrow and elation, a first kiss, a last kiss. Every single person that had one negative thing to say about Rush Limbaugh, you're all going to go burn in hell. How about that? Enjoy. For years as a kid, when my dad took me to school or other various activities, I got to listen to Rush Limbaugh on the radio, and I'm just glad the cancerous shit coming out of his mouth wasn't as effective on me as the cancer in his lungs was on him, wrote author David Ruddock. These people have no God, nor do they have a heart, nor do they have a soul. He was an awful, awful person, Eric Boehlert wrote. Many express sheer glee in Limbaugh's passing. It's easy to make fun of Rush Limbaugh right now, but it's important to remember that he also brought a lot of people joy by dying. He brought people joy because he died, wrote writer and comedian Mike Drucker. We can't make one joke without being canceled, but you can call yourself a comedian that nobody's ever heard of. You can call yourself a little bitch comedian and make a joke on the day somebody died, and because you're called a comedian, you can say something horrible like that and not get canceled. Good job there, Mike. Good job being a piece of shit. The Mirror will be very kind to you. Just kidding. It won't. You'll have to live with yourself by yourself at 3 a.m., sir. And trust me from experience, that is not fun. Not fun at all. Say what you will about Rush Limbaugh, and you may not agree with everything he had said, but with everything going on right now, pandemic, Texas, etc., he gave us a reason to smile today. Philip Henry said that. He's a writer. For that, he's grateful. Philip, I hope something very unfortunate happens. I hope it happens to your bank account. I hope you find yourself on the wrong end of the left. I hope they cancel you. I hope you lose all your contracts. I hope you lose all your money. And I hope you end up in a shitty little apartment like most of us live in. And then I hope you get to look in the mirror alongside Mike Drucker, another idiot. I may have disagreed with him on everything, but I think we can all agree that even the worst of us doesn't deserve the suffering that Satan is going through now, that he has to deal with Rush. Sam Thielman. I may have disagreed with him. Listen, Sam, you're late on that train. Some other idiot already said it. These are all... I was going to say guinea pigs or gerbils, but I don't want to be offensive to guinea pigs and gerbils. I'll call them what they're lefties, because anything, if I call them fleas, I'm insulting fleas. If I call them termites, I'm insulting if I call them Ebola, I'm insulting Ebola, ladies and gentlemen. These lefties are all competing with each other to get the most likes, to win the popularity contest. This isn't about Rush. Rush is gone. This is about them. This is about a bunch of adult children that can't live without your attention, ladies and gentlemen. These people, these subhumans, you shouldn't even make eye contact with them. If you see them in the street, don't even confront them. Don't say a word to them. Don't acknowledge them. Don't yell at them. Don't call them names. Don't even look at them, because they don't exist. They are not the ones that make this world turn. We are. And if we stand, the board game and the pieces fall to the ground. Rush Limbaugh's dead, wrote Grammy award-winning jazz drummer Antonio Sanchez. Guy won a Grammy that no one's ever heard of. He said, good riddance. Well, Antonio Sanchez, good riddance to your career that never existed. I'm glad you made a little money and won a Grammy. You're not the singer of any band and nobody cares about you, nor are you the lead guitarist. Rest in piss, Rush, wrote sports journalist Tony Poznansky. What do you write about, Tony? Do you write about, like, girls volleyball? That's insulting to girls volleyball. I don't want to name any sports. You probably write about transgender weightlifting in women's weightlifting. That's what you probably write about. Transgender people lifting weights in women's classes and destroying records. That's probably what you write about. Is that about right, Tony Poznansky? Tony, you won't be missed either. You won't be missed when your career disappears. Rush Limbaugh once said, by the way, all of you, I'm calling it, within 3 years, all right? Most of the people on this list, their careers are gone. Goodbye. Good riddance. Good riddance. The signs are already here. Most people don't see it. There's been a wave going across the country, a wave of new legislation, a wave of right-wing legislation to balance out the left-wing insanity, a lot of investigations popping up. People are waking up from the nightmare and saying, what the hell happened and what the hell did you idiots do? Mom and dad are home now. Within 3 years, 4 years, by the next election, by the next presidential election, by the next 2-year election, some of these people will be wavering. By the next 4-year election, most of these people will be gone. Their careers are already gone. Nobody cares about you guys. Nobody cares whatsoever. Let's see. Some expressed dismay at the extreme vitriol. The fact that people are celebrating the death of Rush Limbaugh is disgusting. I don't agree with what Rush says or Pelosi or Trump, Schumer, but I'd never celebrate that they passed away, wrote former professional athlete Jordan Schaefer. Thank you, sir. I respect that. That's fine. No issue with that. What has this world come to? That we cheer a person's death because we don't like their politics, he added. Fair, very fair. While prominent conservative voices and masses of conservative users on social media platforms have been purged, with some reporting losses of tens of thousands of followers, I have my hand raised for those listening. Hi. Hi, guys. Left-wing users have little reason to fear writing inflammatory tweets, such as those celebrating Limbaugh's death. And they have nothing to fear because their platform's been cleansed of anybody opposing their thought, anybody with a big enough reach for anybody to hear about it, of course. When you have 200 followers or even 2,000 followers, you have no platform these days. That's just the sad truth. I'm sorry. Following to get follows, things like that, just doesn't work. All right. These people did something. They became influencers somehow. And then unfortunately, they were influenced themselves by this poison. And now they teach people to be evil. People's children, our grandchildren, they see this. These are actors. They're celebrities. They're in magazines. They see these words and they learn these words. These people grow old, and our children replace these people. You heard the one guy driving in the car as a kid with his dad. He's glad cancer killed Rush because it's better than the cancerous shit he had to listen to on the radio. Ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake about it. There's no saving most of these people. There's only pushing back their ideology until it doesn't exist and legislating against it ever coming back. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I'm sorry to have gone through these. I'm sorry to have been vulgar. I know I was off the cuff a lot. I know it's going to rub some of you guys the wrong way. I apologize about that in advance. I'm not apologizing like one of these lefties that just apologize for everything, or one of these people on the right that are accused of something and just apologize. No, I'm apologizing to the fans because I care about the fans. I care about the fans of the American Reveille. I care about you guys. And without you guys, I wouldn't have a show. We wouldn't have anything here. So I want you to know that most of my episodes aren't like that, but sometimes I get a little pissed off. And, you know, when you get rowdy, you gotta let the rowdy out. And, you know, today's an emotional day. It's going to be emotional couple days, emotional couple weeks. A living legend just passed away, and we owe him our respect. So Rush, I know you're up there. I appreciate everything you did. And I appreciate the influence you had on me as well for a very long time. And I'll say that I think you would have appreciated me doing this because there are plenty of people celebrating you. We're all celebrating you. But you would have at least appreciated the fact that I took the time to talk shit back and use fire with fire on every single one of these lefty idiots. I don't believe you're in hell, Rush. Not whatsoever. But anybody that can talk like this, anybody that could say those words about anybody, especially after they've passed, I think they meet the criteria for hellfire and brimstone. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, rest in peace, Rush Limbaugh. Thank you for everything. Folks, thank you guys for everything. Do me a favor. Parler's back up. All right, guys? Parler is back up. Head over to Parler. All right? At the James Lane. I'm right there. At the James Lane. Follow me. All right, guys? We're putting stuff out every day. I'm on Gab. I'm on Minds. I'm on Instagram. American_Reveille. We're all over the place. Check out in the comment section below, or actually, sorry, the description section. All of those links will be in there, folks. All of those links will be in there, including the link for Odyssey. That's the YouTube replacement. I think it's a little better than Rumble. I really do. But let's see how it goes. Check it out. ODYSEE, American_Reveille. I'm also on Rumble, guys. Boom. You like my new emblem? You like my new icon right there? My new logo? Let me know what you think of the logo in the comment section below. American Reveille, American_Reveille, on Rumble. All right, folks. And as always, head over to the American Reveille website, sign up for the newsletter. You can contact me. You can check out all of our articles. Nancy Pelosi's a crazy old lady. Kinsley Kurtz just put that out. Great article. Another one came out about 2 weeks ago from Thomas Marlowe about what was his name? He's a country music star. He got in trouble it was Wallen. There it is. Boom. Morgan Wallen said the N-word, made a stupid mistake. Record sales soared, but this was a good article. It really broke some stuff down. Another one from Kinsley Kurtz. Are you being unknowingly vaccinated? That was a great one too. You guys really should come check out the site, www.americanreveille.com. And if you appreciate everything we've done and you'd like to make a contribution to our company, we're reinvesting everything into the organization, and we're growing it nationwide to keep waking great patriots like yourself up and arming them with the information, empowering them with the information to wake others up as well. Thank you guys so much. All right. www.americanreveille.com. Hit the support us tab. All right. You can donate there. And I appreciate it if you do. Now, if you don't, that's okay. But please share. Talk about the American Reveille. Talk about the American Reveille podcast. If you'd like to help out, email me. I need help all over the place. I really do. I need help with art. I need help. I need writers. If you are a writer and you want to write and you need a platform to write on, email me. James Lane at AmericanReveille.com. Folks, thank you guys so much. I've talked your ear off enough. We're already about at that 1 hour mark. So thank you. And I will see you in episode 74. Bye, guys.